First thing on the list are my tires. I want to check the sidewalls of my tires, the inner sidewall, the outer sidewall of my tire. I want to make sure that there are no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. I want to make sure that there are no embedded objects between the tire and the wheel. I also want to make sure that I hear no audible air leaks. I want to look and make sure that I have no tread separation on either side of my tire. I want to make sure that I have even tread wear across the tire. I also want to make sure that I have 4/32 of an inch of tread depth. Again, I'm checking the outside of the tire and wheel. I want to make sure that I have no embedded objects in there. I'm going to check the wheel, the inside and the outside of the wheel. There are no cracks, damage, or unauthorized welding. I also see that I don't have any oblong holes. The oblong holes are the holes that are behind the stud in the wheel. I want to make sure that I have all 10 of my lug nuts in place. I want to make sure that they're all tight. I don't want to see any rust trails around the lug nuts. And I don't want to see any shiny thread anywhere on the lug nuts. I also have my valve stem, which is right here. I want to make sure that the cap is in place and I hear no audible air leaks and there is no damage to my valve stem. I also want to make sure that if I'm checking the tire pressure, I would check the tire pressure with a tire gauge and make sure that I had 110 PSI in my steer tire. I would check the remaining tires on the truck and trailer exactly the same way that I just checked this steer axle. However, I need to make sure that I have a minimum of 2/32 of an inch of tread depth on the truck and the trailer tires. And I also want to make sure that they're inflated to 100 PSI. I have checked off my tires, I've checked off the rims, and I've checked off my lug nuts. Next thing I'm looking for is my suspension system. I want to check my front spring mount. I want to check the rear spring mount. And I want to make sure that they're securely fastened to the truck. They are not cracked, damaged, or broken, and that they have all the fasteners and hardware in place. Then I want to check my leaf spring. My leaf spring, this is a dual leaf spring. I want to make sure that it's not cracked, damaged, or broken, and that all the springs are in alignment and they are not scissored. I want to check the U-bolts. The U-bolts are securely fastened to the truck. They are not cracked, damaged, or broken, and all the fasteners are in place. I want to check my shock absorber. I want to see that the shock absorber is securely fastened to the truck. It is not cracked, damaged, or broken. It is not missing any hardware, and it is not leaking. Once I've concluded with that, I'm going to go ahead and mark off my springs. I also need to check my airbags. Before I do that, I'm going to check and make sure that my brake hoses are securely fastened to the truck. I hear no audible air leaks, and there are no abrasions, bulges, or cuts in those air lines. I also want to look at my brakes. I want to check the brake shoe and make sure that there are no contaminants between the brake shoe and the drum, which would inhibit any braking ability. Also want to give it a look and make sure that I have at least 1/4 of an inch of brake pad there so that I know that I have full braking power.